All right, so who asked for this survey? Who asked for the survey? Well, the quick answer is the Future Plans Working Group of the General Conference. You probably haven't heard about that committee. It is a committee put aside for strategic planning. So here was our brief. So the result was we had quite a large survey, and we have, I just checked, 13,771 people that did that. So I am seriously impressed. Let's talk about gathering data. Let's start with the North American division. And on the left-hand side there, you'll see Ivan Williams and me. This was before the big meeting that was on the right-hand side, where all of the pastors of the North American division were invited to come and spend their time together. And they were all there. And I didn't actually collect any data there. I made the contacts I needed. A bit of a story there. And then I was invited to come to that meeting on the bottom right-hand corner, which is the ministerial directors of the unions and conferences. And then I sent them all links and asked that they help out. And it's difficult working down through the layers. What saved our bacon in North American division were two of the people in this picture down below. Left to right, that's Renee Drum, who's now an associate at Andrews University. She was teaching at Southern Adventist University for a long time and then moved into one of the, I think it was one of the Tennessee universities, but it's in that area anyway. There's Michael Campbell, who's in the North American division. He is a person that has got substance to his research CV. He writes a lot on Adventist heritage. And he has made the change to administering the statistics and the research side for the North American division. Then Peter Chinchala, who's at Andrews University, took over after Roger Dudley. If you know Roger Dudley, you probably have heard he has recently died, which is a great loss to the church. So he took over after Roger Dudley at Andrews University. He's a big wheel in human studies research relating to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And then that smiling person you may recognise. So Peter was doing research with churches across North America. He piggybacked this research on top of it. And Michael was going around running ministers' meetings, and between them they were responsible for most of the 617 surveys we got from that division. Out of 4,851 ministers and evangelists, which is 13% of the group. So who said it has to be easy? On the other hand, while I was in America, I took a trip down to Miami, Florida. Who would not want to do that? And except I drove to this office and then recovered for a day and then went on to my next appointment. But anyway, this is the Inter-American Division, which is based at Miami because it covers Mexico and as it says, Inter-America. So it's easiest to get around from there. And there I met with the ministerial secretary, Pastor Yosne Rodriguez, and I spent maybe 20 minutes with him, plus a lot of email conversation, plus Zoom conversations. But of the 3,480 pastors in that division, 1,854 did the survey. That's 53% of them. And from the South Pacific Division, you can see the photo down there. There was a group of ministers, well, all of the ministers in this union from Australia came together at Avondale, and hey, we're allowed to talk to them. Even so, they needed about 7 or 8 follow-up emails for us to get them involved. And for this division, we've only got a 20% participation rate because our participation rate from Papua New Guinea is very, 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 very low. But if you want to know the whole news, there it is. So the big divisions, right? There are several big divisions in the church. East Central Africa Division, that's Kenya and thereabouts. They had a 57% participation rate and over 2,000 surveys. We have the Inter-American Division, which we've just talked to you about. The South American Division, they had an 84% participation rate, and they were a bit disappointed. They wanted close to 100%. And they were lovely, right? They went and did this and reminded people and said, yes, this is an important part of your life. And by the way, it's to their advantage. They have the most reliable data. So anything that we report back to them is very, very representative of the pastors. And I will mention Rudy Sittamorang from the SSD, because he listened to my spiel, which I'd given to everybody, which was, wouldn't it be lovely to get everybody on Zoom and I introduce it and they all start at the same time? We actually did that. We did 3 separate Zoom meetings, one in English, two in English, and one translated into Indonesian. And they had up to 1,000 participants in the survey. Well, they could have up to 1,000 participants. They had over 500. And so we got fabulous data, and we saw it happen live before our eyes. So they are great. But I'm pleased to report that we have 44% of the pastors in the 13 divisions of the World Church around the globe participating in the survey. All right, so there are the divisions. I was going to point out to you the big ones. So the green on the left there is South American division. East Central Africa is the brown one, that's Kenya and thereabouts. We had, that was good results. And also we had some good results from different countries. Brazil, of course, is in the South American division, so they were bigger than everybody else. Kenya next, Indonesia. So we've got Angola, Australia, Ukraine, Zambia, Zimbabwe. So this is just fabulous data. We generated the survey in a number of languages. SurveyMonkey is wonderful that way. If you do the right work, it's a bit hard work, but it will you can change from one language to the other. And so the biggest groups came in English, Indonesian, Portuguese, and Spanish. All right, well, that's a bit of a background. Let's think of the results. Adventist church pastors work in different cultures. They have different levels of experience. They have different education levels. They have many differences. This survey. A lot of very committed pastors working in all parts of the globe under pretty strenuous circumstances, many of them. So I want to leave you with that thought. We're very pleased. We want to thank everybody that participated. I want to thank the 13,000 people that invested some of their life helping us out in the survey. I want to thank the General Conference for funding the survey and giving us this amazing opportunity. We were very conscious of the fact we were able to have a big impact on the direction of the church, and we are very careful in how we report our data because we realise that it has the potential for a big impact. I want to thank Avondale and all of the people at local divisions. The translators, the number of people that were involved in this survey is very, very large. So without them, we couldn't help. By the way, here's a gratuitous advertisement. If you go onto the Avondale website, look at research, look at the Scripture, Spirituality and Society Research Centre, look at our projects, and go to the projects on the Institutional Workers Survey, you will see that fabulous video, which was presented at a similar group to this about 12 months ago. So that's there. And until next year, we'll have 2 of these presentations next year. I've got a couple of interesting ideas already, so we'll see what happens. Thank you.